Everett. A little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact.
Into the back of...
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to Lexington, Ohio, as we head to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for this week here in the V8 Supercar Americas Series, presented by V8s Online. We want to let you know that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own V8 Online Superstore. With me tonight is Kane Kraft. I'm JD Smith to bring you all the action here in the V8 Supercar Americas Series. We are 1 week removed from the wonderful Bathurst race. It was all that we could have expected and more. Bo Cattell took the checkered flag at the wonderful Bathurst race here at Mount Panorama. It was really great in New South Wales, Australia, but now we're on the other side of the globe here over in Lexington, Ohio, at a course that we don't typically see, and really happy to come check things out. Kane, tell us a little bit about it, man. You excited for Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course?
I am excited. It's definitely something different. It's really hot. The temperatures on the track are really making it pretty slippery, making traction kind of a problem for the drivers. But from what I can tell, everybody seems to be enjoying the change. So it's definitely a different track, but so far it's been going pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be really fun tonight. We got a lot of different things to look forward to in the race tonight. One thing is going to be a humongous strategy by all drivers. It's going to be real fun as these guys test one another out. Some of these drivers may be their first time ever. And in fact, I'd be willing to bet most of the drivers that are on the track tonight will be their first official V8 race at this track. So look for that to be very interesting. There's been a lot of work all week long in practice, Kane. Guys really getting ready for this this track. It's not a track we typically have in the V8, and it's going to be interesting. We have 37 laps tonight, and that's going to be, you know, a big test because the strategy will be huge with the huge. We have a very large fuel window tonight. I'm hearing from drivers and engineers alike the earliest that we'll see guys be able to come in and get new tires and fuel and still make it to the end on one stop is going to be around lap 9. We have heard rumors that some drivers may even try to squeeze out coming in as early as lap 8, but it will be a little risky to do that. And then we can all see them hang out. For those that like to stay out and get the late pit in, we can see them hang out all the way around to lap 28 of the 37 laps. So a lot of different ways to look at it. Like I said, one way is the late. You know, let's look at that late strategy. If you run the race, you can start with more fuel in the car, but then once you get ready to do your pit, you can really have a shortened pit stop because you're not going to need to put as much fuel in the car. Now, with that being said, you're obviously going to have to be easy on the tires. If you're only getting a little bit of fuel, you're going to try to run. Will those tires have enough grip to make the entire 37 lap run without losing that time? Now, you'll gain a lot of time on the pits, but will that add up over the course of 37 laps? And the other side of the strategy is, hey, come in and pit early. This is probably the most common way, Kane, that we see these guys, is they'll like to come in early, get that pit stop out of the way. They go ahead and get the fresh tires on, fill that bad boy up with fuel to make it to the end or as much as they need, and get back out on the track. So it's going to be real fun to see how the field decides to do it. More importantly, how the leaders are going to decide to do it in tonight's wonderful race. I just can't wait to get things started.
Yeah, definitely a lot of strategy tonight. So those always make things so much more interesting whenever there's so many different cars on different strategies. And I do think we're going to see a variation of strategies tonight because there's so many different ways that it can work out and work out to each different driver's benefit. I think we'll see a lot go around the midway mark that way. You know, the more fuel they have to take, the more it weighs out for them to take tires as well. So we'll probably see some drivers do that so that they can get the fresh tires at about the midway point. So I love these strategy races because sometimes it pays off to get the better grip of the tires, and then for some drivers they'd rather the shorter pit time and then just run on the slipperier tires. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely a great race tonight, I think.
Yeah, everything's sounding good, buddy. I'm excited. And, before we move on, we have a little bit of time to look back at last week at Bathurst. Tell us a little bit about what we saw last week, King.
Last week was one of the biggest races of the year. We went to Mount Panorama, and the big Bathurst race, 31 laps. It really started out great as at the start we seen Beau Cattell and Chad Chastain at the pole, but Beau Cattell spun him off the start, allowing Chad Chastain to really catch up and get past him at the start. And those guys raced so close for so long. It was really a great race for those top two positions. Even further back, Tobias Zerny and teammate Marlon McMullen had a great race for nearly the entire thing. Then so just the whole race was just exciting. There was little exciting bits throughout the whole field. Good races between several drivers throughout the entire 31 laps.
It slid back to second as Chad Chastain will be leading. Marlon McMullen.
Absolutely, buddy. And I'm actually going right now into posting online, letting all our good friends know out there that the V8 Americas broadcast is live right now. Putting a link online for all our good friends to come join us and watch this show. It's going to be a fantastic week here. One of the things I want to talk about, Kane, was last week was the midway point in our season. And, as we move on to the second half of this season, it really stretches out. I mean, we have a different track in the next 2 weeks. Going to be really interesting. Like I said, we got Mid-Ohio this afternoon, and then next week we roll off to the West Coast United States out to Sonoma and Infineon Raceway. It's going to be really fun out there. And then we'll hit some more familiar tracks like Phillip Island, Road America, Okayama, and we're going to finish out with Oran Park, a little bit of going back in time. I love it. But, yeah, man, cannot wait to see how things go. Really just, can't wait to see the strategy that we're going to see. Beau Cattell, some of the drivers we've seen are great. I don't know if we have a standing file ready, but I tell you what, the standings to this point have been really fun as well, Kane. We've had a really good point run so far.
Yeah, speaking of going back in time, I'm going to go ahead and go back in time and finish talking about Mount Panorama. We went to the halfway point of Mount Panorama, to the pit stops, and seeing where Beau Cattell come in for his pit stop, and we had a race off a pit stop there between Beau Cattell and Chad Chastain at the midpoint of that race we were just talking about. And so we got a video here up on that as Beau Cattell's entering the pits there.
This is what we're going to want to watch, fellas, is how much he can come out in front of Chad Chastain. That's going to be the kicker. Will he make up any time? Will Chad be able to make up any time off of this? So far, so good. Beau Cattell, nice and slow getting into the pits. Didn't want to make a mistake. We've seen it time and time again. When guys get to rushing in the pits, overshoot the stall, it's just never good. So far, good and clean stop. Also, another HPR, Corey Preston made his way out of the pit box, and he is back out on track. Yeah, behind Beau Cattell, we also have, let's see, that's Corey Preston and behind him. All right, here's your race out of pit. Here comes Chad Chastain, and what will be the gap? It's going to be close, fellas. That's pretty close right there, as Beau Cattell is getting back up to speed, but here he is.
As we've seen after pit stops, Chad really gained quite a bit of time after the pit stop on Beau Cattell, and we really thought he was really going to gain on him there and really put a good race there toward the end, and he did. really was a pretty good race. But we've seen after pit stops a lot of different races really pick up and start to take shape. Marlon McMullen had pulled away from teammate Tobias Zerny by quite a ways there, but all of a sudden Tobias started reeling him in and just started pulling the seconds down. Marlon had several seconds on him, and within just a few laps Tobias really started reeling him in. And then we get to the last lap there of the race, about the last half or so, going down the back stretch. Marlon and Tobias both catch Chad Chastain going down the mountain, and gets pretty exciting.
Yeah, man, it's a killer race last week. You know, always it was the second time officially that the V8 Supercar America Series had visited Bathurst since it has been added to our schedule, and it was the first time officially that we were there as a broadcast team together, buddy, and it was very exciting and a great way to end it there. And congratulations again to Bo Cattell on a fantastic performance. He's been fighting for that win all season long, Kane. We've seen him finish second numerous times. He's been up at the front all year long. And it's going to be fun to see what he can do here this week, man, as we head off to the track here in just a moment. The drivers are now in last-minute preparations before heading to the cars and getting ready to go do some warm-up laps. So not long away. They just got through a lot of guys doing some last-minute qualifying just a little bit ago. And, of course, as always, friends, as soon as we have that information in just a moment, we'll read out tonight's starting grid. But fantastic job by Bo Cattell. He's been just fantastic. I'm really happy to see him in this series. Another guy I want to talk about is Marlon McMullen. Remember, he had a rough start this season. Very, very bad start for his standards. A rough race at Mosport. He wasn't with us at Brands Hatch. Come back to the Glen, though. And since week 3, he has performed on top of his game. Literally just hanging in the top 3 ever since, and it has been really fun to see him bounce back. And it's going to be fun to see how the rest of the season plays out for him. Another guy I want to talk about, of course, no stranger to victory lane in this series, Chad Chastain. And he has just really been something special this season. He has been on a tear, Kane. We saw him dominate Watkins Glen again. In fact, they just need to put a Chad Chastain plaque on the start-finish line there for this series. He literally has owned this track, or Watkins Glen in this series. It's been really fun to watch him as well. So we got a lot of guys tonight that could really push up there. Another name I want you guys to watch tonight is Nigel Baines. He has really turned up his driving has just improved so much this season, Kane. I just can't even begin to start on how amazing he has turned out. You know, if you go back and look at Nigel and look at he has just hung around the top 5s and podiums all season long. He's going to sneak in here and get a win here soon, and this could come in a track like this Mid-Ohio Sports Car course here today.
Yeah, one of the things is Marlon McMullen won't be here today. He's actually at the F1 race, so he raced last night instead, which he did win last night, but the strength of field on the Thursday night's races isn't quite as strong, so we had to sacrifice a few points to race on Thursday instead of today, but still made some points for the week, so that'll be good. The point standings really are shaping up in this series and really starting to buckle down.
That's so funny when you say that, Kane. He won the race, but it's going to suffer a few points. That just tells you how awesome this race is here on the broadcast night. I'm telling you, that really brings in the heavy hitters, and it's all about the strength of field when you talk about points in a series like this. You know, a lot of guys will think, well, hey man, why not just race on one of the alternate nights and you can win, and then you'll go, no, it's all on the strength of field. And the strength of field race is on our Friday night here in America, or of course if you're in Australia, the Saturday broadcast night, which is right now. And this is the big strength of field race for this series, and this is where the points are. So get out here and fight with the best. We have some of the biggest names in V8 Supercar on sim racing there is in the entire world, and I love it. It's just some of the best racing you can get, and I love it. And can't wait to get things started, Kane. The guys are getting out on the track now and starting to get a little warmed up. We should be having some pictures shortly.
Yeah, the pictures are making their way in. And as we do that, as we load up, there is one thing I would like to remind viewers of. We heard this week that there will be a new episode of Short Shift starting. And for those of you not familiar, Short Shift is a show presented by V8's Online. Jay Kennedy and Stephen Sandman Clark do a show every once in a while where they put it out for all of us race fans, and they have started production on the latest episode of Short Shift. So keep your eyes open for that. There's some more driver interviews and some other cool stuff coming along. So keep your eyes out for the latest edition of Short Shift.
And that's always a fantastic show to co-watch. They really do a great job. Jay and Sam, man, put on a fantastic show for you guys, and I enjoy it every time. I'm really looking forward to this new episode. Well, Kane, I've already seen it. There's going to be 21 cars on the grid officially here at Mid-Ohio Sports Complex, or excuse me, not Complex, Sports Car Course. Man, cannot wait. This is such a unique track, man. The 13 unlucky turns. Can't wait to get here. Tonight's going to be about finding a rhythm, Kane. This is not one of those courses that you can get into and try to hit the apex and drive out, shoot in, drive in, shoot out. You cannot do that here. It's awkward. You have to find a rhythm here, and you have to flow, especially through the midsection here, right after the big straightaway here. The midsection is very, very tight, but it's awkward. You almost have to drive it to know what I'm talking about. So the guys are going to be real careful through there. You can really, another big heavy section to watch in this track as far as time goes is turn one. Turn one, believe it or not, if you miss that apex, you can lose a lot of time. I was talking with driver Chad Chastain during warm-ups, and he was telling me about how that is just such a very important turn here. A lot of drivers losing a lot of time in qualifying and practice, missing that apex there in turn one. So very critical for all 37 of these laps. These guys are going to have to drive through there just right.
Well, we got some pictures up on the field, and we got about 30 seconds left before we get started. I'd like to take just a second to do a little driver bio. On driver there I got highlighted, Tobias Zerny. Now this driver bio is courtesy of the Powerbond website. Tobias Zerny from Germany, and he races with a Placey with a CSR Elite wheel and G25 pedals. His favorite track's Montreal. A little bit about Tobias Zerny is he's only been racing in the V8 Supercars since Season 3 of 2012. He's somehow managed to be in the top split nearly the entire time. And he's got his first podium at Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal. The things he looks to work on this season is to improve his consistency and just his basic speed. And he really needs to work on his starts. So that's Tobias Zerny, everybody. Get to learn your fellow drivers a little bit.
Mid-Ohio Sports Car as we go down our driver starting grid. Here we have Chad Chastain, who will be sitting on the pole with, mentioned just a moment ago, Tobias Zerny, the German driver, starting on the outside in spot 2. Back in third, Nigel Baines of SDC Motorsports will be starting in the 3-hole. Back in fourth will be the KRT driver Michael Fulcher. Teammate Mark Anderson will be starting fifth with Sanjan Delilik of the Volvo Altitude Brighton machine in 6th. 7th will be Kurt Stenberg in the Dayco Nolex Ford Falcon. Tony Klusterman in the Never Quit Racing machine will be starting 8th with Andrew Vince in 9th. Running out the top 10 tonight will be Phil Jones with Trevor Pickett, Shane Brook, Marty Carroll, and Tony Lynch. Richard Byrne back in 15th. Corey Preston will be 16th. 17th, Zach Baker. Dylan Shepard, 18th. Dylan Carroll back in 19th. 20th, Stephen Jenkins. And rounding out the top 21 cars in the 21-car field is Isaac DeFigueiredo. And this is a race. Let's go, buddy. As the cars get set off here, we got a fantastic race underway for you guys. Chad Chastain, the current leader at the moment, gets off to a fantastic start. Here is Nigel Baines trying to get up there with Tobias Zerny to fight for that second position. He will file in behind the Dayco Ford, and the SDC Motorsports car will be sitting in the third spot.
teammates Mark Fulcher and Mark Anderson seem to be running bumper to nose again, as we've seen. It seems like race after race here lately that they just keep running one right behind the other. But pretty competitive speed-wise with each other.
Holding down well in the second position, but man, Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports machine all the way out to a nice lead already. He's moving up. He's got about a half a second lead over Tobias Zerny at the moment. And then the rest of the top five goes like this. Nigel Baines starts that big pack in third. Then behind him is teammates both Michael Fulcher and Mark Anderson. Then Sanjin Delilac. Right behind him is Kurt Stenberg and Andrew Vince. All those cars right there in a big pack right there from 8th all the way to 3rd, and a nice little pack for position. So this is going to be a fun race to watch all throughout. I'm trying to see.
Go ahead.
Oh, we got trouble on the track. Tony Kloosterman gets spun around, and spun around halfway, lost control a little bit. He is in the back of the field, unfortunately, and that's rough. Poor Tony. He started up in the 8th position, and I don't know how he quite fell back that far, because he spun after he had fallen back a little bit.
Yeah, it don't look like he's got no serious damage. Maybe it was just an error that got him spun around.
Yeah, hopefully so. Oh man, nice HPR car by Marty Carroll, and oh no, Marty Carroll is spun around. Let's see if we can get a race recall replay there. That is big contact on the track, and what a tough break by Marty Carroll right there. He got side by side with driver Corey Preston of High Powered Racing, and a tough break for Marty Carroll. Like I said, side by side, it looked like Corey Preston was going to try to make a move on the inside of Marty, and there's just no more room available in that tight turn. Very, very aggressive move early in this race, and a tough break there for driver Marty Carroll. Kane, you hate to see that this early in the race.
Yeah, definitely. He just got stuck there. It looks like lag might have saved his car a little bit there, as a car just kind of lagged right as they were going into him, and it looked like he missed a lot of damage from that.
Who was that you were just saying?
On the Marty Carroll incident. But
I heard that shit. I didn't hear what driver you were saying. Somebody saved their car.
Yeah, the car that lagged as they were going, making contact there with Marty. They lagged right before contact, and I think it probably saved both cars a little damage.
Yeah, I noticed. I think that was Steven Jenkins. I noticed he is in the pits at the moment, so maybe could have been he could have maybe had a little damage. We'll see how that works out in the long run. Right now, here we are on lap 3 of 37. A long way to go here at Mid-Ohio, guys. But here is the on a tear right now. Chad Chastain out in the lead. He's a 3-second lead over Tobias Zerny. Nigel Baines right behind Tobias. And this is a fun battle for second right now, Kane.
Yeah, Nigel Baines is definitely working hard on Tobias there. Tobias doing all he can to stay ahead of Nigel, who's putting on some serious pressure.
And then what's dangerous for Nigel is and Tobias is, look, both of those Kamikaze Racing Team cars are right there behind them. Michael Fulcher in 4th, and then Mark Anderson right behind him, and these two are dangerous. This team has been surprisingly amazing this season. Literally came out of nowhere. I didn't see them at all last season, or this race team together. And all of a sudden on the map is the Kamikaze Race Team, and they have been completely dominant in this series for coming out of nowhere. I mean, they haven't been blowing everybody away, but they're currently one of the strongest teams there is in the V8 Supercar America Series.
Yeah, it's basically because of their consistency. They have got a win each, I think, but the main thing is the consistency. They show up each and every week and have good, consistent finishes. I think both of them had their wins on Thursday nights, but still, very good, consistent runs by both of those drivers.
Very good point, Kane. Here's another driver trying to move up the field as well, Sanjin Delilik in the Volvo machine right there. Sanjin is back in the 6th position at the moment. He's trying to catch up to Mark Anderson and has a nice little run. Definitely happy to see Sanjin back this week on the broadcast. And he's got a fast car behind him as well, Kurt Stenberg in the Dayco Ford. He's coming up pretty fast as well, trying to hang up here with this lead pack of cars. Car I hadn't seen on the track in quite some time, the Redback driver Andrew Vince. He's back in the 8th position right now. How about Trevor Pickett back there in 9th of ZB Racing Team, holding it down in 9th. Now we saw Corey Preston. Corey's had a lot of success this season, Kane. He's in the HPR machine, currently in the 10th position. And we saw Corey get involved with the Marty Carroll incident just a little earlier in the race, and it hasn't affected Corey at all. He was able to, as we see him go right around, he's side by side trying to make an outside turn pass around Trevor Pickett. He's not going to be able to successfully make it this time. He'll have to try again later. Definitely very aggressive early here is Corey Preston. And yeah, we saw him aggressive one time and unfortunately got into Marty Carroll, but man, he needs to kind of, he was trying to move to the front, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to end up putting him or somebody else out of this race.
And I just seen him flash there. Internet connection could be a little bit of a problem for him too tonight, as I've seen a couple of the Australian drivers having some connection issues tonight.
I'll have to keep a close eye on that. Luckily, I haven't seen it yet, but never mind. As soon as I said that, of course, that's the commentator curse. You say something and then it happens. Yeah, I see what you're talking about, Kane, and he's going to have to be really careful as he tries to go around Trevor Pickett right now. He is right on Trevor Pickett's bumper, and here he goes, coming on the side-by-side, door-to-door. He goes to the inside and successfully makes the pass. So moving up into the 9th position is Corey Preston. The HBR Ford Falcon moves up another slot. All right, let's just check everything out real quick. And Nigel Bain's still trying to catch up. He's fallen off just a little bit from, he was real close to Tobias. He's still up there with him. Oh man, look at this. Mark Anderson having a little bit of fallback here. He has been passed by Sanjin Delilik, and this is a big move by Sanjin to split the two Kamikaze race team cars. Now Kurt Stenberg may try to make a move and take advantage of Mark Anderson falling back. Not sure exactly what happened to Mark. I just saw him on the outside of the turn there. Like he got hung out on the outside and lost a lot of time.
Well, one thing we've seen from Sanjin this year has been a lot of speed. He's definitely shown that when he can put in the time on the tracks that he needs to put in, he can really perform well. And he is, on a couple of these tracks, has nearly been the fastest car out on the track. So Sanjin doing really well this season, really finding a lot of speed.
Yeah, he really has looked really awesome so far this season, man. How about Phil Jones back there in the number 13 machine? He's trying to make his way around Dylan Shepard and just fell back a little bit. He was right up on him there for a second. And he's trying to make a move, get up in here, maybe find himself in 12th, maybe 11th. So good job for Phil Jones back there, trying to move up really good.
Let's mention Dylan Shepard here today at the V8 Americas Series. New Dayco driver, just moved over from another team. They call him Shep over there at Dayco, and good to see him over here at the V8 Supercars Americas Series. Definitely loving to see new faces in this series.
Absolutely, man. It is really so fun to see new faces, and as this series continues to grow, it just keeps getting better and better each week. Another driver new on the track that I haven't seen is a couple new names that we don't see quite often, and I think it's because they're probably down in the second split sometimes, but good to see him. I'll tell you what, good news for Tony Klusterman, Kane. He's found his way moving back up through the field. He is all the way up, back up to 15th now, after falling way down all the way to 20th at one point. So moved back up 5 positions. Very good comeback for Tony Klusterman.
One thing we know about the Never Quit Racing Tony Klusterman is that he can find some pretty good speed, and he's had to come back from adversity once or twice before, and once that happens, he just puts his head down and he don't let it get to him. He just starts climbing back up, and he usually does a really good job at it.
Yeah, a lot of times when something happens to a driver, they get real frustrated, and they can actually end up overdriving and end up doing more damage than if they were just to relax and keep staying focused and drive their normal game plan. And that's what Tony does very well. And some drivers have a really hard time readjusting after something happens. So very good job by him. That's really tough to do.
Back up front, Nigel Baines has reeled in the Daco driver of Tobias Zerny and is reeling in it right on the bumper.
Also, another position has been gained by Kurt Stenberg, who's moved up into the 6th position. Mark Anderson will fall back to 7th for the moment. In fact, Mark Anderson is in the pits right now here on lap 9, Kane. We mentioned that would be pretty much the opening of the fuel window, and Mark Anderson does get back out on track. Everything looks like it went well for the pit. Now, he's going to be coming out in traffic. Very good exit from pit road there. He comes out right in front of driver Richard Byrne, who Richard's all the way back in the 17th position at the moment. But that's a really good job there by Mark Anderson there. He's still right there with some of the main pack. So that could really benefit him. He's done with his pit stop. All he's got to do now is race his way to the finish, buddy.
Yeah, he may have had some repairs or something. That may have been what was causing him to fall back. So he just elected to get in as soon as he could to get those repairs done and start making progress again.
Now, talking back about when we were talking about Nigel Baines just a little earlier, you said he had reached Tobias Zerny's bumper. He is right there now, and boy, he is just riding smooth at the moment. I don't think that Nigel's trying to get real aggressive at the moment. I think he is just trying to work together with Tobias and wait for the right time to make the move. I don't think he's wanting to get too aggressive here. But in the meantime, Chad Chastain is still inching his way ever further away from these front two, or this 2 and 3 position cars. He is really out to a fantastic lead. And one of the things I want to say is if we can look, Chad Chastain has had some of the best pit stops all season long. So if he can get in and do what he normally does and get in and out of the pits like he normally does, he might even find himself gaining even more time, Kane.
Yeah, pit stop can definitely, this is going to be a race where a great pit stop could make or break this thing. So this is definitely going to be a race where the pit stop is very important.
And throughout the race, guys, we'll have to keep up really closely on who is in and out of the pits. It's a funny entrance to pit road. It's coming off of turn 13 or 12 here, and it'll sneak up on you. If you really got to wash off some speed there as you come over this little funky hill. It's just it's not real tough, but it's just interesting to say the least. Not a lot of room. So if you got you and another car going at the same time, and you guys are fighting for position going in, man, it can get really tough.
Tag Pest Management car of NZ Motorsport driver Dylan Carroll's made his way up into the 8th place position, just behind Corey Preston. Working to reel him in now. About a 3-second gap between he and Corey. Further in the back, we're seeing Isaac de Figueiredo making some gain on Richard Byrne. The problem is Isaac's connection's being a little sluggish today, which is probably making him be a little cautious. New paint scheme there for Isaac this week. Actually, I think this is the paint scheme you were telling me about last week. there, JD, when it didn't refresh in the broadcast, but it refreshed on your screen. Nice, awesome looking black paint scheme.
Let's see what's going on here, buddy. Hold on.
I got you. You're back now.
Okay. I don't know what was going on there, but we're back. I was talking, and I was just saying, all right, here we are at lap 12, and sorry I left you there. For some of you that may have just joined us here, we are lap 12 of 37 laps at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course here at week 7 of the V8 Supercar America Series. I'm JD Smith, Kane Kraft here with me as well. And as we're 12 laps in already, Chad Chastain, the story so far, has been our leader since the green flag has initially waved, and Tobias Zerny is back in the second spot, fighting with Nigel Baines for that second spot. Back in fourth is Michael Fulcher of Kamikaze Racing. He rides in fourth, and there comes Sanjin Delilac in fifth. Back in sixth is Kurt Stenberg, who's about to put a fantastic battle on with Sanjin. Corey Preston rides in seventh. He's off track though. A little bit of trouble can he save it? Yes, he saved it. Lost a lot of time, but he's safe. Could have been tragic for Corey there. Corey has been pushing really hard this race. Started in 16th and worked all the way up to 7th in 13 laps, folks. That is a really, really good job by him. He has been extremely aggressive in the high-powered racing machine. Back in 8th place, Dylan Carroll with Phil Jones back in 9th. Dylan Shepard rounds out our top 10 with Trevor Pickett back in 11th. In the 12th position is Shane Brook with Tony Klusterman up to 13th. Mark Anderson has pitted. That's why he rides back in the 14th spot. Tony Lynch is in the 15th spot with Marty Carroll back in 16th. Marty starting to make a little ground after that early race incident. Richard Byrne is back in the 17th spot, and side by side with him is Zach Baker. And Zach Baker door to door with him. Zach Baker is going to be on the outside, and it's going to be very tough. Will Zach hits a wheel halfway off the track and stays with his. He couldn't make the pass. I thought Richard Byrne might have let him by there, but no, sir. Good job by Richard Byrne to maintain a position. Zach Baker is still in 18th spot. Back in 19th, Andrew Vince with Isaac DeFigueiredo in the 20th position. Stephen Jenkins is the only car off the lead lap. He is one lap down, and he rides in the 21st spot.
Just seen a car off there, one that we'd seen a little further up the pack there just a little bit ago. Oh, it looked like it was Richard Byrne. Richard Byrne there got a little bit off track.
Boy, Isaac DeFigueiredo just got past him a few moments ago by leader Chad Chastain, so now we have 19 cars on the lead lap, but very good so far for all these drivers out there.
Chad Chastain is just dominating here today, and he has taken some of these a little more challenging courses and proven that he can drive on about anything and be fast. He's really done a phenomenal job so far today.
Yeah, he really has, buddy. I mean, here we are on lap 14 of 37, and man, I'm just proud of Dylan Carroll. Already gained 11 positions, and that NZ Motorsport driver is really doing a good job right now. Bo Cattell not on the track with us this week, last week's winner at Mount Panorama, but his teammates doing well, doing very good out here, representing the team very well.
This is a tough track, and to come out here, first time driving with these guys that I can remember, and to gain 11 positions and get up in the top 10. Chasing down Corey Preston, the series veteran, for position. It's a great job by Dylan.
We got a nice battle going on back here with Phil Jones and company, where you got Corey Preston, Phil Jones, Dylan Shepard, and we have a car going into pits. It looks like it will be Phil Jones heading down pit road. Also, Marty Carroll is on his way out of pit road. So we got a lot of cars deciding it's a good time to start the pits here at lap 15. Also, driver Tony Klusterman making his way into his pit stall. The team will go to work on the Never Quit Racing Ford Falcon. Man, fantastic job by all these guys so far. Like we talked about early in the race, Kane, this is not a racetrack that we typically race at in these cars. In fact, I can't remember ever having the V8 supercars here. And as long as me and you've been broadcasting together, and so it's very interesting. I know the drivers have been practicing real hard all week, and we knew it was going to be very interesting here. And it's lived up to that so far. It really has. I'm really proud of Chad Chastain. He has.
Nigel Baines in the pits.
Oh, and how about that? Yeah, Nigel Baines decided to head over towards the pit road. He's getting some new tires on the SDC Motorsports Ford Falcon, and a nice exit there. He's in and out. Pretty decent little time there, Kane.
Yeah, quick pit stop for Nigel Baines, so that's definitely going to be helpful.
Boy, he looks really good coming out of pit road, and let me tell you something about Nigel. He has a lot of space in front of him now. Remember, he's been riding right behind Tobias Zerny for a long time, for all 16 laps to this point. Now he has open road in front of him, Kane. He can really use that fresh air, and he doesn't have to worry about slowing down for the guy in front of him. At certain points, he can really try to start to make up some time here.
Yeah, and he can. Dylan Carroll right there with him.
Boy, you can tell he's on cold tires, buddy. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, now with an 11-second pit, he should, I don't think he was able to get tires.
Man, it looked like
he just got fuel only with 11 seconds.
You're probably right, but it sure looks like cold tires to me, because if those things were hot, he wouldn't be sliding around like that. So maybe, I don't know, they could have cooled off in the pits. I don't know. That's he's fine now. It just looked like he was sliding around a good bit. He's trying to keep Dylan Carroll behind him. There is Nigel Baines, after a pit stop, is in the 6th position. He only lost 3 positions, Kane. That's amazing.
Yeah, but keeping Dylan Carroll as that motorsports driver behind you, yeah, that can be a challenge all in and of itself.
Yeah, it's fun to watch right now, and here's Nigel trying to find himself a little bit of time between Dylan Carroll and himself. A beautiful job through this hairpin by Dylan Carroll. He actually closed a little bit of that gap through there. It looked like Nigel was going to break away for a moment, and Dylan reeled him back in.
We've got Corey Preston and Shane Brook in the pits now, with Zach Baker also in the pits. So several drivers deciding to take their pit stops in this first part of the window.
Yeah, it's probably a really wise decision to go ahead and get it out of the way. Now we have, after this, I'll start calling our later pitters, because this is the majority of the guys are going to go in around lap between 15 and 20, we'll say. And then we may have a few late race pitters. Here comes Zach Baker making his way out of pit road. And he comes out right beside Isaac DeFigueiredo. He'll tuck in right behind him. And, boy, it's amazing how these guys can come out of the pits and just fall into line like that. Very, very difficult task. They make it look really easy.
What is that on Isaac's car?
Hold on, and I'll tell you exactly. Let me get a close-up here. And what you mean, logo?
Yeah.
Well, he has, of course, on the side, he has the Botanico Health and Healing he's sponsored by, and then on the front he has the Haber Captive. It says Haber Cavations. Okay. So we'll tell you what, we'll have to ask him what that is.
Excavations? Maybe? I can't.
That's what it is. It's hard to see.
My cameras ain't giving me a very good angle on it, so I can't really see what it is, but that is a fantastic looking car.
It is because there's an X behind the H. Yeah, it's Haber Excavations. That's exactly what it is. I saw it. Got a better view here.
Well, shout out to Isaac Ferreiro on a very awesome looking paint scheme. I wasn't quite able to read it out very good, but with some help with JD, we got it figured out.
Sanjin Delilah just entered into the pits as another driver goes in for fuel here and possibly some new tires. Also, Tobias Zerny's on the pits as well. He is exiting now. And so we'll see where Tobias comes back out. Remember, he had a close battle going on with Marty Carroll. It's going to be real fun to see where these two. Here comes Marty right behind him, and wow, wow, that is really close.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Tobias Zerny with an 11.5 second pit stop, also choosing to take a quick pit stop. So, smart decision by Tobias Zerny to wait and get that pit stop shortened just a little bit. So kept Nigel Baines behind him.
Boy, that is a fantastic job by Tobias Zerny, because let me tell you something, Nigel Baines has been on a tear, and he was right there. I thought for sure that he was going to come out behind Nigel, but he made it fast enough. And right now, Nigel right there on the bumper. We could see a fight for position here. We're on lap 19 now, 37, and Nigel Baines is trying to look for any room he can to make a pass here.
Nigel is definitely looking for a pass. He definitely feels like he's got a little bit more speed than Tobias, and now where it looked like he was just following him before, now you can see that he wants to make this pass. He wants to get it done and get the clean air and start looking to try to chase down Chad.
Well, yeah, he knows that once everybody makes this pits, this is the second place position they're fighting for. And you said it, they were both trying to get up there and catch up with Chad, and you know, their hopes is that Chad might have a couple difficulties in the pits. You know, right now Chad's got traffic issues. He's right behind 3 cars. One of the cars he's behind, it's a little ways up right at the moment, but it's Tony Klusterman there and Corey Preston and also Phil Jones. So 3 fast cars that he's going to have to get around. That can end up slowing you up a little bit. Right now, good job there by Corey Preston to make his way around Phil Jones to move up into the 12th position. Both cars have pit already. So once the rest up at the top will pit, we'll see these guys start to move back up to where they were earlier in the race. Kurt Stenberg has moved up into the top 3 now. Do what, buddy? We did. We did. Corey Preston, we better hope he gets back on the screen soon, Kane, or that is not good for him. That would be the equivalent of an engine failure if he doesn't make. Yep, that is it for Corey Preston. He has disconnected, and we will count that as engine trouble for Corey Preston. And that is a tough turn of events for the high-powered racing machine Corey Preston, and that is not good. He has had the connection issues. We saw it happening earlier in the race, Kane, but I thought he was going to be able to hang on to it, and unfortunately it just dropped just long enough to where it disconnected him, and oh man, he may come back in here and try to turn some laps just to maybe pass some the back of the field cars that maybe get some laps down, but he's already a lap down now, so hopefully he can get back in here soon. Alright, yeah, let's go on board with the leader here, and let's take a little lap around this fantastic raceway. Man, I love this place. I am happy here. I like this. Look at this. Here we about to start a new lap here, going around turn 13. In the short little front stretch here, you just pass the start-finish line as you go under the bridge. This is the very important turn 1. Look how it's a late apex. Very, very crucial to hit that right. You can lose a lot of time there. And then you're flat out going up the hill here. This is turn 2, and it's a hairpin turn. You got to be real careful. Full 180-degree turn onto the straightaway here. And this is where you can get a lot of speed, or it's kind of like a little kink in it. And if you hit the right side of it, then you can go flat out all the way through here. Now this is the section where you're going to have to start getting in that rhythm. You're going to click down into third gear, and you'll never leave third gear if you drive it just right. You can stay in third the entire time. And look at this beautiful job as our leader Chad Chastain makes his way around the Dayco driver there. Beautiful job of Dylan Shepard. And here comes the leader making his way around the rhythm section. He's still in third this entire time, has not changed out of it. Now he'll start to go up through the gears again as he starts to go into the third sector of this lap. Big sharp left-hander into a right sharp left-hander, and this is where pit road will sneak up on you right up here on the left. As you see it right there, it's an awkward position. And then the final turn 13, and that's a lap around Mid-Ohio. A really tricky little track, very, very technical. You have to find a good rhythm here, and definitely Chad Chastain has done that so far. Thanks for going on board with us here on V8's Online's great show here at the V8's Americas.
Let's check back in with our battle for second place with Nigel Baines and Tobias Zerny, as they're making their way to get into some slow traffic now, as Kurt Stenberg hasn't pitted yet.
Tell you what, man, it is so cool looking on the back bumper cam. I'm just looking on of Tobias Zerny, seeing Nigel Baines right there. It is really neat to see. I'm telling you, Nigel is trying his best to get around him, and it's going to happen eventually. The inevitable will happen, and but if Nigel does make it around Tobias, Tobias is not going anywhere. He'll be fighting right back. So this battle will be going until the last lap. I'm telling you, it is. These two right here are about as evenly matched as you can get right now in this point in the season. We've seen them do these battles between the two before, Kane, and they're doing it again here today.
I want to clear up a mistake I just made. Kurt Stenberg has more than likely pitted. I forgot that I had an error in my deal and had to clear it out, which cleared out the earlier pit stops. But so they weren't passing Kurt Stenberg for position.
Yeah, Kurt Stenberg, I don't think Kurt's pit yet. Because before Kurt, or before everybody pit, Kurt was back in the 7th position, and he's all the way up to 2nd, and so we'll see. If I'm sure he'll have to pit. Also, leader Chad Chastain has not pit yet, if I'm correct, Kane. Actually, did he just come out of the pits? He sure did. Our leader just came out of the pits, so Chad Chastain just made his pit stop, and
12.2 seconds. So that was a little bit slow for Chad being that late, but he had some time to spare, so it's not going to hurt him.
I tell you what, how long was that pit stop again, buddy?
12.2.
Yeah, not bad at all. And I think he'll be okay. Like you said, he had plenty of time to spare. Before the pit stops even started, he had over a 5-second gap between second place driver at the time, Tobias Zerny. So I'm thinking that he'll be quite all right. And here he has open track in front of him for a little while. Kurt Stenberg is in front of him up here. And oh, Kurt Stenberg, scary moment there. He was using the exit curb and the tire just popped off of it and he got a little loose for a second. But of course he's very talented and was able to keep the car well under control. Beautiful driving by Kurt Stenberg in the Dayco Ford.
Yeah, Kurt's definitely a talented driver there.
Look at this. Ford. How about Kurt Stenberg going to lead a lap here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course? Congratulations to Kurt for leading a lap here. It's a very tough task to do when you have a guy like Chad Chastain out here dominating. And, uh-oh, come on now. Kurt having a little connection issue there for a second. I was worried about him, but he seems to be okay. But yeah, you know, if I know he still has to make a pit stop, but still, fantastic job to get out there and lead a lap. Even with being, you know, staying out like that, that's a good job. I'm going to be excited to see how this pit stop strategy will work. Now, Chad Chastain is only 3.8 seconds behind him at the turn of the last lap. So, Kane, I know that he obviously won't be able to pit and still come back out in the lead. But if he can get a decent time in, he can still come back out around 7th position, 6th or 7th, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the intervals, and about 12 seconds down. If he made a 10-second pit stop, he'd come out in front of Mark Anderson about 12 seconds down. So I'm guessing he'd be in about 6th or 7th position.
Yeah, because not only do you have the stop, you have to calculate also the pit road speed and also the drive onto pit road, the actual exiting the track, and then of course entering the track again. So you have to calculate all those things, as you do have to slow down to get into get the speed off, wash it off to enter.
Yeah, you are right. He could actually be down in as much as 9th or 10th position.
Yeah, so it's the only thing is you do have to calculate, and a lot of people forget that when they, you know what, unless Kurt Stenberg is the greatest fuel saver in the world, you can stretch it to about 28 laps. I don't think we'll see anybody be able to stretch it an extra 9, so he will definitely have to pit pretty soon. I'm kind of keeping an eye on him because we're on lap number 26. And the fuel will be starting to get kind of low there for the Dayco Ford, but he's doing a beautiful job right now. Chad Chastain with the new coming out has already made up a second from the last lap. He was 3.8 seconds off, and they started this past lap. It's down to 2.8, and he is coming in. So if I was Kurt, I'd go ahead and get this pit out of the way here, and that way I could get back out on the track and hopefully make up whatever positions I may happen to lose here. And I'm real interested to see if he'll enter this time, and he will. So Kurt Stenberg on his way down pit road, and I'm really curious to see what he does here. This is a very important pit stop for Kurt in retrospect of where he'll come back out in the field. Right now, everything's so far so good. He's going to go into the pit stop pretty nicely. He doesn't overshoot his box, gets in, and now is when the clock starts, buddy, and we'll see how long he's stuck in there. And here he comes. He's on his way out now. And this is going to be the kicker. Where do you come out? We also have another car on pit road as well. And it is the green machine of Stephen Jenkins.
Steve Jenkins has had quite a tough race here today. Having a terrible internet connection today. He's blinking in and out on the pit road, and it's been blinking in and out along the track, so internet connections definitely caused a problem for Steve Jenkins today.
How about this, Kane? How about that? How about Kurt Stenberg just popped back out on the track right behind Michael Fulcher, who's in the 5th position. He will be in 6th place. Beautifully done by Kurt Stenberg. He played it well, because when he went in the pits, he was back in 8th. So that just his pit strategy made up 2 spots on the track. Look at Mark Anderson right now going around Isaac de Figueiredo, or excuse me, Michael Fulcher. Beautiful pass. I know that's not for position, but it looked fantastic. And Michael Fulcher rides in 5th place right now. Nigel Baines is in the 4th position, or just moved up to 3rd. And Kurt Stenberg is scored in the 4th spot as he got around Michael Fulcher just a second ago. How about that? Pardon me, he dropped back to 5th. I apologize, it was a scoring error. But still, to get in 5th place, how about that for Kurt Stenberg? Beautifully done.
Yeah, great job. That was pit strategy played out. It's about as good as you can do it. Yeah, hope to gain a few positions by waiting just as long as you can to go to pit road, and that's exactly what happened. He gained a few positions off of his pit strategy.
It's lap 28. You know me, I always get excited when the fuel window fits exactly my predictions. Makes me feel good. Because I said 9 to 28, and we had our first stop on 9 and our last one on 28 with Stephen Jenkins. So pretty cool right there. I'll tell you what, Chad Chastain with a 6-second lead over Tobias Zerny back in 2nd place. Here we're on lap 28, Kane of 37. I'm going to do the final rundown here before the end of the race when we'll do our final results rundown. So here we go. As the leader, Chad Chastain heads over to start lap 29 of 37. This is how your 21 car field stacks up. Chad Chastain is the leader with Tobias Zerny back in second. In third place in the SDC Motorsports Ford Falcon is our good friend Nigel Baines. And as we move back through the field is a great driver in the Kamikaze Race Team, Michael Fulcher. Back in fifth place, great pit strategist today in the Dayco Ford, Kurt Stenberg. Back in sixth is Sanjan Delilac with Mark Anderson. In seventh, Trevor Pickett in the eighth position with Andrew Vince in ninth. Beautifully job for the Redback driver right there. As we move back and rounding out our top 10, Dylan Shepard, old Shep there in the Dayco Ford, rounding out our top 10. Phil Jones is in the 11th position with Tony Klusterman right there in 12th. A great battle between those two right now. In 13th, Dylan Carroll in the the Tag Pest Management NZ team right there. Shane Brooks runs 14th with Zach Baker in the Botanica Health and Healing Ford Falcon. He rides in 15th. Isaac DeFigueiredo, another Botanica car, he rides in 16th. Tony Lynch is back in 17th with Marty Carroll back in 18th. Richard Byrne is in the 19th position, and 20th is Stephen Jenkins. And unfortunately, Corey Preston is the 21st position car with a engine, or we'll call it engine failure, but internet connections doomed the race here today for him at week 7. Very tough break for Corey. He's had such a great season so far, and I know that that will continue next week. Kane, I want to ask you a question. If we look at Marty Carroll right now, I want to make sure you're seeing the same paint that I am, because that is a sweet throwback paint, the Mitra 10.
That is exactly what that is. That is a throwback paint. This week in one of the leagues that Marty races in, they raced a throwback series paint, and that's what he's racing this week, is a throwback paint scheme.
Man, that is definitely a Ford Falcon fan paint scheme right there, and you know I'm a huge Ford Falcon fan, or Ford fan in general, and so that is awesome, man. That's way to go, Marty. And Marty back in the 18th position. Not the best day for Marty, but you know what? We know Marty is a killer driver, and he has that damage to the right side of his Ford Falcon there from the wreck with Corey Preston earlier.
He has had a really tough season this season 1 of the year.
Yeah, the first half of the season has been rough, buddy. It really has for him.
I know he's excited to get season 1 done and over with so he can get a fresh start on season 2 as it comes up. You know, and we're into the second half of the season now, so the season will be winding down before too long, and Marty will get a start fresh on season 2.
Well, the best thing Marty can do is his teammate's been driving phenomenal. Nigel Baines has had one of the best starts and the best seasons Nigel's ever had, and doing fantastic. And Marty can do one big great thing, and that is Marty has 5 more weeks remaining left in the season after today, and what Marty can do is use that to boost himself into the new season. It's now that Marty can start getting that confidence back, and once he does, man, Marty will be coming out here winning races. I know it. I mean, the guy's got so much talent, it's unbelievable. And so I'm sure we'll be seeing him fighting really hard here in the weeks to come. It's just only a matter of time before he just comes out one day and wins a race. That's just kind of driver he is.
Yeah, and the great thing about Marty is he's also a great, his instructional value is great. He's very good at helping the other drivers out. That's one phenomenal great thing about SDC Motorsports is they're a good fast team with lots of good fast drivers, but they also will bring on a little less skilled driver so they can teach them how to drive. And I love that about SDC, that they will bring on the challenged driver that's not quite there yet, and will show them the ropes and teach them how to be fast.
That is awesome, man. Right now, Tobias Zerny had to make his way around Trevor Pickett there, and it allowed Nigel was about a half a second down a moment ago, but now right back with Tobias Zerny. So this battle will continue for this second place position. I'll tell you what, it's going to be real fun to see here on lap 32 with only a handful of laps left if Nigel's able to pull this thing off. Also, another battle we need to keep our eyes on is the Kurt Stenberg-Michael Fulcher battle. Michael Fulcher's pulled away quite a bit now, so I don't think that we'll see that happen again. But here comes Sanjin Delight. Look for those two to be battling out to try to sneak into the top 5.
Yeah, the closest battle I'm seeing on the track right now is Dylan Carroll is all over the bumper. Never Quit Racing driver Tony Klusterman.
Oh, he actually is going to try to look to the outside for a second. There's no room there. He used all the exit curb he could. Yeah, look who's behind this two-way battle. It is, they're trying to stay on the lead lap, buddy, because here comes leader and the Can-Am Motorsports driver of Chad Chastain, and this is not who they wanted to see in their rearview mirror right now. This could slow up Chad with those two battling right there, because this is a big battle for position. Side by side coming down the front stretch. On the inside will be Dylan Carroll, and makes the pass on Tony Klusterman for the moment. Tony will be right there fighting back to try to retake position, and that is the fight for the 10th spot, so a big position as both drivers will try to get a top 10 out of the race today.
Look who's coming up through the middle, though. Our leader, Chad Chastain, is breaking the two up.
I know I was worried it was going to slow Chad up, but what it did was really help Dylan Carroll out, because once he was able to get around Tony Klusterman there, buddy, it slowed Tony up there for a minute, and man, I tell you what, Dylan Carroll really took an advantage.
The sportsmanship that Tony Klusterman has. He'd seen the leader coming up, and he knew that he was in the battle for position with Dylan Carroll, but it just, being such a sportsman, he went ahead and let off and let Chad through and gave up his battle for the leader.
Nigel Baines and Tobias Zerny still going at it here on lap 33 of 37. And Nigel Baines is trying his best to stay up here with Tobias. Very good battle between these two. We've seen it all race long, and golly, it's just coming down to the end now. Who will get this thing?
Going back to Tony Klusterman here, JD, I got a serious question for you here now. After the race, which, with an 11th position so far finished for Tony Klusterman, which do you think it will be that he asks his wife to bring to him to drink after the race? Will it be tea or will it be whiskey?
Ooh, I don't know. I think he'll get a tea today. He had a rough beginning to the race, but you know what? He had a phenomenal rebound, man. This guy fell all the way back, and then he has drove all the way up trying to battle for a top 10 position, and there's still enough time for Tony to get up there and still get it. So I don't know, man. I think if he can get back up there and get that 10 spot, I think he'll be getting some tea. If he ends up falling back another position, he'll be wanting some whiskey.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's really had a great comeback from the way his race started out, so he might be looking for some tea tonight.
Yeah, man, he's definitely shown. And the thing about Tony is I just wonder what would have happened if he wouldn't have had the early race incident. Man, I mean, he would be battling up there with Kurt and Sanjin. He's had the same pace as those guys. He's been able to fight back up into the field. So, or at least we'll say up there with Andrew Vince and Dylan Shepard up in the 8th and 9th spot.
Tobias Zerny now running into some lap traffic that's really let Nigel Baines reel him in and get right on his bumper. Almost got into the back of him there and had to slow down a little extra slow.
Yeah,
let's getting him.
Let's see. Yeah, good job by Phil Jones. Gets all the way to the inside. Here comes Nigel Baines on the inside. It's time to make his move, and he will make the successful pass. Beautiful job by Nigel Baines. He waited for the right moment and finally got that pass. Now the question, Kane, on lap 34 of 37, will Nigel be able to hold this thing?
I tell you what, Tobias Zerny showed even last week that he has late race pace, and he might just have it here too.
Oh man, this guy is unbelievable. We mentioned his German driver, and fantastic skill level on this guy. He definitely has what it takes to get around Nigel. Now, beautiful job by the SDC machine of Nigel Baines. We haven't seen Nigel ahead of Tobias all race, so it'll be fun to see how Nigel is able to hold off Tobias here.
Very happy for Nigel and the fact that his internet connection is held out tonight. His internet connection has cost him a couple of races already this season, so his internet connection's holding out well. He just put in on a great move on Tobias Zerny for the second spot. So great race for Nigel.
Yeah, I think old Nige got a little phone call in and said some colorful words to the internet provider for him and told him that he wants it to work right. And he deserves it, man. This guy can drive like no other. And here he is right now. Beautiful job by Nigel. He has held up his end of the bargain very well in holding the second place position, showing that he deserves to be there. He's actually trying to pull away from Tobias at the moment.
Yeah, about a half second gap there, which is just about a car length or so, but that's not much when you're talking about Tobias Zerny. So
it didn't much, Kane, but this is it, buddy. This is lap 36 of 37. White flag will be out this time by. You have to go now. And when you talk about that, I'm talking about our leader, Chad Chastain, is in all kind of lap traffic, but with 8-second lead over second place driver Nigel Baines. This is really the race to watch, is back here for second place, and it's going to be between Nigel Baines and Tobias Zerny, two fantastic drivers. And this time by, the white flag will be out.
Another Dayco driver that's having a great race, Dylan Carroll, or Dylan Shepard rather, having a fantastic race with NZ driver Dylan Carroll.
Yeah, he really is, man. He just got put a lap down barely by Chad Chastain, but let's give him credit. The guy's in 9th position. That's just Chad Chastain doing his thing again.
Yeah, Chad has definitely shown this season that he's got some serious speed, and God, once he gets that clean air, he just takes off.
Well, the final lap is out, and Chad Chastain on his way to another victory if he can hold things down, and we keep our eyes locked in on Nigel Baines and Tobias Zerny on the last lap. If Tobias is going to be able to make a pass, it's going to have to happen on this lap. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the final lap here in Week 7 for the V8 Supercar Americas Series. Right now, down the back stretch, a beautiful, beautiful gap put on and some nice distance by Nigel Baines. Tobias Zerny, now you'll see him try to close that gap. We'll see some very aggressive racing as this is the final lap. It all comes down to these last couple turns, and I don't know if they'll catch up to Tony Klusterman up there, so I don't know if that'll cause an issue. Be fun to see. I think that Tony has plenty of pace up there, that they'll be fine. But a beautiful job by both of these drivers to race this thing to the end. And let's go ahead and throw a congratulations out to Chad Chastain, who is on his way to winning this race here at Mid-Ohio Sports Complex. And congratulations to Chad Chastain. Beautifully done as we go back and want to keep our eyes on the final turn here. Here comes Nigel. And I think Nigel will have the second place finish. A last effort by Tobias, and they cross the line. Beautiful job by Nigel to take that great battle to the end. Credit to both drivers on a fantastic race. Thanks for the great show, Tobias and Nigel. And congratulations to Chad Chastain winning another race out here. Let's keep our eyes on that Can-Am Motorsports, on see what he does. He's always one that likes to celebrate a little bit, so I'll be interested to see what kind of burnout we get from Mr. Chad Chastain. Tell you what, as everybody crosses the finish line, we'll go ahead and do a final rundown as Chad Chastain gets ready to do a Can-Am Motorsport burnout for us. And leader Chad Chastain, of course, won the race. Nigel Baines in second. Tobias Zerny finishes in third. Coming in fourth is Michael Fulcher of Kamikaze Racing Team. Kurt Stenberg with a fantastic pit strategy here today was able to come across in the fifth position. Sanjay Delilac, beautiful week coming back after an absent week, comes up in sixth place. Mark Anderson, another KRT driver, finishes in the seventh hole. Eighth position belongs to Andrew Vince, a beautiful day by him, as well as the Tag Pest Management Ford Falcon driver Dylan Carroll finishes in ninth. Newly added Dayco driver Dylan Shepard will finish and round out our top 10. How about Tony Klusterman there? A beautiful day for him after early race incidents. Was able to fight all the way back to a top 11. Beautiful drive, Tony. Tony Klusterman, fantastic job there. Trevor Pickett, a good day for him to come across in the 12th position. Phil Jones back in 13th spot with Shane Brook in 14th. Zach Baker of ZBR Racing will come across in the 15th spot with Isaac DeFigueiredo, another Botanica driver. He will come across in 16th. Marty Carroll in the awesome retro Mitra 10 paint, beautifully done. Unfortunate day for him, comes across in the 17th spot. Early race troubles, but still all in all, a not too bad day from Marty Carroll. Tony Lynch finishes back in the 18th spot with Richard Byrne in 19th. Steven Jenkins is in the 20th spot. And then, unfortunately, Corey Preston with internet issues drops from about the 7th spot all the way to finish 21st here at Mid-Ohio. And that's how they finish up here, man. Beautiful race. Kane, a truly enjoyable race to watch. And a big-time congratulations goes out again to Chad Chastain on a job well done. And I tell you what, I'm ready to do a little interview action. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a good friend of ours, Nigel Baines. I'm going to bring him in. Nige, good job, buddy. Congratulations.
Wow, thanks, guys. I can breathe again. That was pretty intense for 37 laps.
Boy, I tell you what, it was really fun. We knew that the pit strategy today was going to be fun to watch, to see who was going to go early and who was going to go late with such a large fuel window. We knew that it was going to be all strategy played. Kurt Stenberg was phenomenal on his pit strategy today. He actually used it to gain 3 spots and get a 5th place finish out of it. And but you did a fantastic job as well. Right at 11 seconds on your pit stop. Definitely one of the faster ones today. And I thought you were going to come out right in front of Tobias, because you two put on a fantastic show for us all day long. And then you come out right behind him. And then you battled all the way to about 5 to go and finally made the beautiful pass on him, man. Tell us all about it.
The pit strategy for me kind of went wrong. I tried something different and took 2 front tires.
I thought you took some tires. I said something's going on because I thought you took something. I was just, but your pit was so fast that Kane and myself was like, he couldn't have took tires. That was only 11 seconds.
You can get 2 tires in about 8 seconds, I think. So I knew I could take 2. I knew I couldn't take 4. And I felt that I was getting a bit pushy on the front, so I thought I'll put some fresh front tires on. But the problem was the first 2 laps out of the pits with grip at the front and lack of grip at the rear, the car was horrible, and I drove 2 really bad out laps. Otherwise, I should have jumped Tobias in the pits really, but. No, I got lucky. Just a lap car there, just held him up enough. He couldn't quite get on the power early enough, and just enough room for me to squeeze up the inside. So great battle with Tobias. It was awesome.
Man, a beautiful day, Nigel, and a fantastic job here at Mid-Ohio. A very unique track. You know, a rough day for teammate Marty Carroll. We know Marty will bounce back real soon, man. I love seeing his throwback paint on, and we know we'll see Marty rocking and rolling. I'm just glad for Team SDC, buddy. You did a fantastic job. We look forward to seeing you next week at Sonoma.
Yeah, thanks, JD. It's another new one, I guess, for me in the V8, and I think this one too. I think Marty probably hadn't even seen the place, so you know, it's we'll look forward to next week. We'll give it some practice, and hopefully we can find a decent bit of pace again. So thanks, guys.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks a lot, Nigel. And that is Nigel Baines, guys, driver of the SDC Motorsports. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a big shout out to Chad too. I mean, his race pace was pretty sick. I mean, mid-24s for a race lap is crazy. So, yeah, big shout out to Chad. He drove awesome again today.
Oh yeah, he's stellar. Speaking of Chad, I'm about to get him in here and get a little word with the winner. But another congrats to you, buddy. Fantastic run.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, and that is, once again, Nigel Baines, everybody. Let's do that. Let's bring in the winner today. Let's bring in Chad Chastain for a word. The Can-Am Motorsports driver does it again. Congratulations, bud. Fantastic win.
Thanks a lot, JD. It feels really good. Feels really good to kind of right the ship.
That's it, buddy. I had a little word with you in a practice session right before the race, and we were just having a little chat there, and I didn't know I was already talking to the winner, man. I should have just interviewed you there. Beautiful job today. You dominated all race long. And it seems, Chad, that when you get in situations where you not necessarily just get the pole, but when you get out to a great start like that, it seems to be inevitable that you're going to have a good day, man. That's a really good quality to have. That's a lot of confidence there.
Well, it certainly helps, to not feel like a rabbit being chased by a bunch of dogs. To get that little bit of gap right off the rip, and it allows you to kind of settle into a rhythm and start running your pace, as opposed to kind of having to defend and watch your mirrors. That takes just a little bit extra time, and that's all anybody needs.
That's it, and but a beautiful job, buddy. That race pace today was fantastic. Just unbelievable. And you're like Nigel was saying, running mid 24s for race pace here is pretty fantastic, buddy. So congratulations on a great run.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, buddy. We head out to Sonoma, aka Infineon Raceway. If they still have their sponsorship, who knows? They had it one week and then they don't the next. But we'll be heading out to Sonoma next week, man, and that's one of my favorites just to go watch a race on. I think it's interesting, and I love driving it for fun in the V8 because I love hopping the curbs out there. May not be the best way to drive it in a race, but I think it's going to be a really good race out there. It's kind of similar to what we rode today. It's just a little bit longer and has few more, little bit more elevation change in it. But I think it'll be another great race. So maybe we'll have the same result from you, Chad.
I'm hoping so. I grew up around there. It'll always be Sears Point to me.
That's right, buddy. Absolutely. If they can't decide on a name now, they should just go back to Sears Point. I agree 100%. Well, congrats, buddy. Best of luck to you next week.
All right. Thanks for having me. Kane. Talk to you later.
Absolutely, buddy. And that is Chad Chastain, everybody, driver of the Can-Am Motorsports Ford Falcon. Another fantastic job. Now I'm going to bring in the featured driver of the week. We had a great feature pre-race with him that Kane told us a lot about, Tobias Zerny. Tobias, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, hello, guys. Hello.
It's so great to talk to you, man. We just watched you and Kane. About the 90% of that race was you two guys putting on a show for us. And with Chad jumping out to a lead like that, man, and it was really the Tobias and excuse me, I can't talk. Tobias and
Nigel.
Thank you, buddy. Nigel Bang. I can't want to say Marty. Yeah, Nigel show. And you two, just a fantastic job. You held him off for a lot of that race. And then finally, he was able to find just the tiniest little opportunity and capitalized on it. But you look like you're going to try to get that spot back from him there, and it was just a great race, buddy.
Yeah, I was really impressed by Chad's quality time at starting first. Yeah, half a second gap. And yeah, I hope that this might be just a lucky punch and he gets some slightly slower race pace compared to this, and I might stick to him, but man, he was just flying away at the start and nothing I could do, and I saw the gap to Nigel and so okay, this somehow stays constant, not the way I thought. So Nigel was doing a pretty good job there. I think one time I got it over a second, but he closed it again, and then yeah, I was looking into the rear view mirror quite often, and yeah, when he went into the pits, I stayed out a lap longer. I messed up the lap a little bit, so I thought, okay, he's probably past me right now. I will stay out as long and get some laps without him in the rearview mirror. Or maybe I can do something to get a bit of time against him. But after the pit stop, yeah, I was surprised that I still was ahead of him. But I noticed that he might have had some tires because he closed in quite fast and was all over me. So.
Yeah, on his pit stop, he decided to grab two front tires. What did you do on your pit stop?
I took no tires because after staying out for, I don't know, 20 laps or so and then taking to France will change the balance of the car massively, because you really got no rear grip compared to the fronts at all, and only taking rears will make the car just go straight only. So yeah, I thought it would be good, because I'm not really pushing hard here on this track. It's more a smooth flowing track somehow. I thought the tires would be in better condition, but yeah, they were pretty much destroyed. But nevertheless, the lap time still some mid 26s, yeah, but 2 seconds faster than slower than Chet's fastest time.
That's all right, buddy. Yeah, Nigel said that putting on the two fronts was really bad idea because when he came out of the pits, the first 2 out laps were just unbelievably difficult. He said the balance was off so bad in the car that he really lost some time, but it seemed to pay off for him in the very end once the fronts kind of wore off again. But fantastic job, Tobias. We look forward to seeing you at Sonoma next week, buddy.
Yeah, I'm hoping there. My pace might be a little bit better, so yes, Mid-Ohio is one of my weakest tracks, really. Absolutely do not enjoy the second part of the track, and I knew I was taking slightly different lines or braking earlier. Sometimes saw Nigel getting closer in the rearview mirror, and sometimes I was a little bit afraid he might just get me a little bit small touch there, here and there, and I mean, due to the connection, I think we still were racing on an Australian server.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did pretty good. I mean, I know how it can be following a European car on an Australian server. It can sometimes be looking very weird. So he did a pretty good job. And yeah, just got a little bit lucky there when the lap traffic was ahead. And yeah, they somehow tended to move away, getting on the start-finish line by just do not get really on the throttle and stay on the left. And this really hurt my run on the start-finish line. And I don't know, at start-finish, he was already side by side to me, and I lost the next corner. So yeah.
Well, good job all in all, buddy. A top 3 in a podium here at Mid-Ohio. Congratulations, man. Best of luck to you next week, Tobias.
Yeah, thank you guys. See you next week.
Absolutely, buddy. And that is Tobias Zerny, everybody, driver of the Dayco Ford Falcon. And next, I want to get in here. A great guy who used a great pit strategy today and had a fantastic run, finishing in the top 5. Kurt Stemberg, what's going on, buddy?
Hello, guys.
Howdy do. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
Boy, you put on a fantastic show, Kurt. I tell you what, we watched every bit of your pit stop. We thought you had a nice pit strategy coming in late like that, a very fast stop, and it actually helped gain you some spots there. Not a bunch, but just a little bit, and then you had just some phenomenal racing there at the end of the race. Good pace to get you a top 5 finish here, man. Very nice.
Yeah, I hadn't really done much just during the week. Did a quali session just straight before the race, and yeah, wasn't too happy with, well, I could have started a bit further up, but yeah, I just took it easy at the start, and my tyres were still good, and I wasn't burning much fuel. I think I only took 15 litres in the stop, and I come out and the tyres still felt new, and I was catching Michael Fulcher really quick. Yeah, pretty good.
That's excellent, buddy. Another good week for you, man. The Dayco Ford has seemed to be very fast for you here of late. And we move on next week to Sonoma, very unique, another unique track, back-to-back unique tracks for the V8 series. So it's going to be really fun as we head out there to the West Coast and try a little bit of different track. It's kind of similar to here a little more elevation out there, but still it's another track that you got to really catch a good rhythm out there. And it's a fun track to me, but some drivers have a lot of trouble out there, and some guys have a lot of success out there. So it'll be fun to see how you do out there, Kurt.
Yeah, should be good. I haven't raced there. I've raced the Mustang there. I haven't raced the V8 there, but it's a track that I've enjoyed in other cars, so hopefully have a good result again.
Hey, absolutely, buddy. Well, best of luck to you next week, Kurt. We always enjoy talking to you, my friend, and we're looking for you to get another top 5 next week, maybe even a win.
I don't know about the win, but thanks, guys. See ya.
Hey, it'll sneak up on you, I'm telling you. For too long, we're going to see you in the victory lane, I promise. Just keep up the good work, buddy.
Will do.
And that is Kurt Stemberg, everybody. Fantastic driver there, driver of the Dayco Ford Falcon. Next, I want to get in here a great friend of ours. Everybody knows good old Marty Carroll. Marty, fantastic paint scheme on the car this week. I loved it. I hate that we had to see an early race incident, buddy. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Just like to start off with a big shout out to to Henry Hogan there. I was a little bit disappointed in the representation, but yeah, I would have liked to not have Corey come and dive bomb me on the second lap there, but yeah, I hope I represented okay and recovered to somewhat degree.
Yeah, you did actually, man. Corey has raced phenomenal all season, but he came out today and he was attacking, man, and he definitely was a little aggressive early, and I'm sure that he didn't. If he could do it again, he wouldn't have quite went down this like that again. It was very unfortunate that early in the race, and we hated to see the incident early. But you did a really good job bouncing back from that. It could have been devastational, man. It could have ended everything, you know. But you hung out there, and you know what? We head off to Sonoma next week, man. And you know I love Sonoma. It's one of the road courses that my beloved stock cars drive on. So it's going to be really fun to see you guys out there having some fun. Of course, we see you guys doing the Glen a good bit, but we always seem to miss Sonoma. So it's going to be really fun to see you out there. I hope we have a great week out there, Marty.
Yeah, I think if I'm running anywhere close to Corey next week, there I'll have my Tony Stewart eyes on, that's for sure.
We'll have the camera wide open on you, buddy. I'm telling you what, we're going to have to keep a close eye on you. But once again, man, congratulations on running that awesome paint scheme, man. You know, I was happy to see it. And we look forward to seeing you next week, pal. Keep up the good work, man. I know talking to Kane, and we were just saying, you know, you haven't had the best of luck this season, and I said, you know, at any moment now, we know that it's just going to happen. And I said, watch this. I said, Marty's just going to break through one week and win one of these races. And he's just going to come out of nowhere and win it. And so it could be next week at Sonoma. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like me luck to change a little bit, and I'm working towards that. So it's testing my patience to no end. But I thought today might have been the day. I come into the session and had the number 10 on the car, and, which is Henry's dad's number, and you know everything was looking good, and I was feeling good. I had the race pace to run up in the back half of the top 10 there. I didn't qualify well. I hadn't had a lot of chance to practice this week, so I kind of blew my qualifying opportunity just before the race. But I got another couple of shots out of this week, so but yeah, looking forward to the rest of the weekend and getting to Simona next week.
Awesome, buddy. Well, always a pleasure talking to you, Marty. We look forward to seeing you next week, pal.
Thanks very much, guys.
And that is Marty Carroll, Lady Brave Body, driver of the SDC Motorsports Ford Falcon. And last but definitely not least, let's get in Dylan Shepard, man. A fantastic job by Dylan today. Had a good race. Dylan, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, man. Love it.
Oh,
great race.
Good. Fantastic. But anyway, we just got through with Mid-Ohio, and definitely a unique V8 supercar track to drive on. Kind of a rhythm track here. You got to just find a good rhythm. A little different than what we normally drive on, but I thought you did a fantastic job today, man.
Yeah, I forgot to do the quali session before the race, and so I had to start 18th, and by the first corner I made it 14th, and by the end of the race I was in 10th, so it's definitely showing good race pace. Got to see what the quali is like. But yeah, this track it's hard when you first get out, but when you get into the rhythm, it's definitely a great track for some good racing.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing. You know, we saw that you started all the way back in the 18th position, and next thing we know, we're like, man, Dylan Shepard's on the move, and then we see you getting a top 10 out of the race today, and that's really great for starting all the way back in the 18th spot, and it's only a 37-lap race, so not a whole lot of time for you to move up, too, so very good job, buddy.
Yeah, in the end it came down to like making the right decision on your pit stop. That was probably one of the best things I've done. But yeah, it was just good racing. Everyone was clean, and yeah, didn't have too many dramas.
And that's always so great. Tell you what, this series has really been a great series and a great season this time around, and I know it's just going to continue to grow, and the more that it does, it's just filled with such great drivers, man, a bunch of good guys, and that's what makes it so great, and it makes it fun for us to watch each and every week, and we really enjoy broadcasting. And we head out to Sonoma next week, man, and we're going to be excited to see how you do out there, man. It's a great track as well, unique, another one we don't drive a lot on the V8, so it'll be fun to see how you do out there, buddy.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Gonna put as many laps as I can, and hopefully improve a little bit more.
Absolutely, man. Maybe we'll see you fighting up there in the top 5 next week. You know, next thing you know, you'll be winning these things.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. The move to Power Bond from Synergy was a good move. First race with them, and I've already proved that it's a great team to be on, and hopefully I can get up the front in the next coming races by the end of the season, hopefully.
Absolutely, buddy. I know they have to be happy to have you there, and it looks good seeing you in the Dayco car, man. It looked really good on the track today, bud. Congratulations again, Dylan, and best of luck to you
thanks.
next week, pal.
Thank you, man. See you next time.
Absolutely, buddy. That is Dylan Shepard, guys, driver of the Dayco Ford Falcon. A fantastic job by him this afternoon. So, Kane, all the drivers have given us their word today, and overall a great day today. The unluckiest driver of the day is Corey Preston with internet issues. He was very aggressive on the track today. Unfortunately, caused a little trouble for Marty Carroll. I'm sure it was unintentional. But unfortunately, it got him later in the race with the with one of those things, the internet connection, and we've seen it get drivers like Marty Carroll and others throughout the season, and I just hate to see it, you know, when it happens. But it's part of racing. Let's just face it. It happens in NASCAR, and it happens in the V8 supercars. It happens. Engines get blown, and things happen where races can just suddenly end for a driver, and that's what we saw again today. And well, I'm sure we'll see Corey bounce back, and look forward to seeing what he pulls out next week at Sonoma. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, pal?
No, Sonoma is definitely one of my favorite road courses, so I'm pretty excited for Sonoma next week, and that's where I'm anxious to see.
I ain't gonna lie, buddy. I am pumped up for Sonoma. So we want to thank our wonderful sponsors one more time: the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the wonderful V8's Online Superstore. And for V8's Online, I'm JD Smith. With me, as always, my good friend Kane Kraft to call all the action. We'll be coming to you live next week. And don't forget to stop by our other broadcast. If you can't get enough of these two great voices, come by and check out us on Wednesday evenings for the NASCAR iRacing Series. And we're going to have a fantastic week next week as we head to Fontana for the first time at Auto Club International Speedway. Also, we'll be back next Friday evening here Eastern time in the United States to bring you live footage right from Sonoma, and it's going to be fun. So we'll see you live next week, guys, live from Sonoma.